parliament has failed to elect a president now for the fourth time. This time, though, supposedly due to the fact that Hezbollah is opposing a candidate in the parliament. What more do we know about this candidate?
Well, it's not new. You know, Lebanese politics, not that Israeli politics is so great in the recent years, but, Lebanese politics is based on a delicate balance between the different sects, the different religions, the different ethnic groups, the Shias, the Sunnis, the Christians, etc., etc. It seems to indicate that Hezbollah, even though it was very much weakened by the previous elections in Lebanon, still has the power of blocking candidates that it doesn't like. And this, of course, is part of the political stalemate in Lebanon, that Hezbollah and other groups do have a veto power, which basically prevents the country from being properly run.
Is this not indicative of what Israel and many Hezbollah critics say over the years, that they are inextricably involved in Lebanese politics? I mean, we seem to have seen that now with the maritime deal between the two enemy states.
Yes, well, Hezbollah is definitely involved in Lebanese politics. The question is, how involved and how much power does it still yield? It definitely has, first of all, a lot of military power, because it holds the biggest arsenal of missiles directed at Israel in the region. And despite the fact, as I mentioned before, that it was weakened in the previous elections, it still yields a lot of power there. Even though it was very much affected not only by the elections, but also by the economic collapse of the country. So Hezbollah has less power than it used to in Lebanon, but it still has the ability of blocking decisions, even though when it comes to the maritime agreement between Israel and Lebanon, Hezbollah was not able or willing to block it. So it has less influence than in the past, but it still has a lot of influence in the country.
Hezbollah certainly has power, and as you've just mentioned, there's no doubt about that. But what about the public? The public often cries systematic disruption and corruption. We've constantly seen visuals of them breaking into banks to get into their own funds. We're talking about access to their own bank accounts. How does the Lebanese public react when news comes out that they have failed yet again to get the country back on track? Is it a failed state, or we're not there just yet?
We're there. We're definitely there. It is a failed state. It's a country where the government cannot pay, government salaries. It's a country where you don't have electricity. Most buildings are connected to generators, where banks cannot, give money to their customers. It is a failed state, definitely. What used to be called in the 60s the Switzerland of the Middle East has become more of the Somalia of the Middle East. It's a tragedy, of course. But nobody sees a way out. I mean, we've seen the tragedies in the Beirut explosion a couple of years ago. It hasn't been fixed. It hasn't been, there hasn't been any policy to try and fix this disaster. The Central Bank of Lebanon was itself involved in a Ponzi scheme a few years ago. It has become a failed state. And nobody sees a way out. In other words, it is the political system is so dysfunctional that even foreign powers that have been trying to help Lebanon are not able to do so, and that's really a tragedy for this country.
Well, another vote is expected to happen on Thursday, and hopefully creatures of habit, as they call it, won't be the case here, and there will be a surprise, and they will be able to move forward out of this chaotic political deadlock. Emmanuel Navon, Senior Fellow at the Jerusalem Institute for Strategy and Security and International Relations expert, thank you very much for your time.